Couple of take-home messages here, because the focus of my presentation is to give you plain language. And I can't make it any plainer than this. Concussion is an injury. Concussion is an injury because when we see people hobbling into sports grounds on crutches or in a sling, or they're wearing a splint on their leg, they kind of go, oh yeah, I get it. You know, the brain says they're injured. They're clearly injured because you can see something. The problem with concussion is sometimes referred to as the invisible injury, or I'm reading a book at the minute called The Ghost in My Brain, which is an absolutely perfect depiction of what concussion is. It's in there, it's rattling around, I can't put my finger on it, I can't really explain it to people, my symptoms aren't the same as what a normal injury looks like, so it's more difficult to wrap your head around. But the take home is concussion is an injury. This is a bit of a pet hate of mine, because many of us, when we've heard descriptions of concussion previously, he's got his bell rung, okay? He's had a head bump. He's gone through the RTP protocols. He's had a head knock. The power of language that we use to describe concussion is essential. And what I mean by that is the language we use dictates how serious the injury is taken. Words mean what you want them to mean. Okay? Illustration of that was March 22nd, this went on the RTE website. It just happened to be one I picked up on. These are quotes from the head coach. Unlucky bang. Head knocks. That drives me insane. Okay? I'm sure that the IRFU and Leinster Rugby are so stringent and doing everything they possibly can to protect their players. I'm pretty sure of that. But the optics of reading this for community and amateur sports is wrong. Concussion is an injury. It is not an unlucky bang. It is not a head knock. It's an injury. And we've got to be really clear about that. We've really got to straighten and correct people on that. Plain language, plain communication. Kevin spoke about education in terms of we're not too sure what the education levels are. We know they're low. We know they're low. And it has to be repeat education time and time and time again. What I mean by that is that Kevin and myself, we ran a concussion workshop, really, for want of a better word, about a month ago with a rugby club in Limerick. And what I'm going to say in the next few sentences might shock you. You might kind of scratch your head. You might kind of go, how does that make sense? Some of the coaches told us that there was an incident with an under 15 player who was diagnosed with a concussion during a particular training session. The player left the field and then went to school about 2 days later, and his coach was wondering why he wasn't taken out to play the sport he was meant to be taken out for. To put that into context, and this is going to sound ridiculous, people don't see the injury as transferable. Now that sounds strange, but some people, we heard it that night, I've heard it uncountable times at this stage, that if I get injured playing a certain sport, I'm only injured for that sport. I'm not injured for this other sport, or I'm clear to play this other sport over here. I'm aware that sounds ridiculous, but that's what's happening. That's what's happening, okay? So, what I would love to see, and this is only a proposal, and we discussed this on the night with that particular club, of trying to build a concussion communication network, or an injury communication network, whatever you want to call it. But what I mean by that is that if I get injured playing a certain sport, the coach, Emma, you're the coach, you're going to tell my parent, you're also going to tell the school, you're also going to inform the other coaches of the sports that I'm playing. And keep in mind the percentage of age grade players that we know who are playing multi-sport in this country. Connectivity. How do we connect up the dots? It doesn't happen. It's not happening widely at the minute. And that's what I'd like to see. Closing off on my plain language, this line resonates with everyone. If in doubt, sit him out. I know we've kind of got a bit of fatigue from that one, but it's absolutely true and absolutely crucial. If you're not sure how to detect or how to recognize a concussion, if there's any doubt, you sit them out. Thanks very much.